When it comes to what makes men irresistible to women, we often look for the flashy, the attention-grabbing, or the immediate traits that are most noticeable. We think of the well-dressed guy with the perfect smile, the one who has the best career, or the guy who always seems to know exactly what to say. While these traits may catch someone's attention, they don't always create lasting attraction. The truth is, the most irresistible quality a man can possess is far simpler and far deeper than many people realize. It's not about physical attributes, material possessions, or superficial charm. It's about emotional presence, the ability to be truly connected to himself and to others in a way that makes everyone around him feel safe, valued, and understood. At first glance, this may seem like an abstract idea, something that's hard to quantify or define. But it's precisely this emotional presence that sets the foundation for lasting connections and creates a magnetic appeal that can be difficult to resist. The truth is, women are often drawn to men who can navigate the world with emotional intelligence, men who understand the power of genuine connection, and who have the maturity to balance their emotions in a healthy way. The ability to be emotionally present, however, is something that has been overlooked and undervalued for much of history. Society often tells men that they need to suppress their emotions, that they need to appear strong, stoic, and unaffected by the world around them. For years, the idea of masculinity has been linked to the notion of emotional detachment, of pushing down feelings and focusing on external achievements. This idea has pervaded pop culture, from the tough guy heroes in action films to the corporate bosses who show no signs of vulnerability. But the truth is, this emotionally distant version of masculinity doesn't foster the kind of deep connections that make people truly irresistible. When a man learns to be emotionally available, both to himself and to the people around him, he opens the door to something incredibly powerful. Being emotionally available means more than just talking about feelings. It means being present in the moment, listening with intent, and being able to communicate clearly and openly. It's about being aware of one's own emotions and the emotions of others, and responding to those emotions with empathy, care, and understanding. This kind of emotional maturity creates a sense of trust and comfort, which is one of the most magnetic qualities a man can possess. The key to emotional presence lies in self-awareness. A man who knows himself, who has taken the time to explore his own feelings, desires, and boundaries, becomes a more grounded and authentic individual. This self-awareness not only helps him navigate his own emotional landscape, but it also allows him to connect with others on a deeper level. He's not looking to manipulate or control the situation, but rather to foster an environment where everyone involved can feel heard and respected. This kind of presence is incredibly attractive because it signals to women that they are being seen and valued for who they truly are, not just for how they look or what they can offer. But emotional presence is not something that happens overnight. It's a lifelong process of learning, growing, and evolving. Men who are willing to engage in this process, not just for the sake of attracting a woman, but because they understand the profound impact it can have on all aspects of their lives, are the ones who create lasting, meaningful connections. And it's not about perfection. It's about showing up authentically, flaws and all, and being willing to communicate openly without fear of judgment or rejection. Another important aspect of emotional presence is the ability to listen. We live in a world that often values speaking over listening, where people are constantly waiting for their turn to talk, to share their own thoughts and opinions. But listening, truly listening, is one of the most powerful tools for building attraction. When a man listens without interrupting, without jumping to conclusions or offering solutions right away, he demonstrates a level of respect that can't be overstated. It shows that he values the other person's perspective and is willing to invest his time and attention into understanding them. Women, like everyone else, want to feel heard. They want to feel like their thoughts, feelings, and experiences matter. And when a man takes the time to listen without judgment, it creates a bond of trust and connection that is both rare and deeply desirable. Listening also ties into the concept of emotional validation. It's one thing to listen to someone, but it's another thing to acknowledge their emotions and validate them. Validation doesn't mean agreeing with everything the other person says or does. It simply means recognizing that their feelings are real and worthy of attention. A man who is emotionally present knows how to validate the emotions of others in a way that makes them feel supported and understood. Whether it's offering a comforting word or simply acknowledging someone's struggle, emotional validation helps to create a sense of security and closeness in a relationship. And women find this type of emotional availability incredibly attractive because it signals maturity, sensitivity, and depth. There's another layer to emotional presence that's often overlooked: vulnerability. Being emotionally present also means being vulnerable. This doesn't mean spilling every detail of one's life or constantly sharing personal struggles, but it does mean being open about one's own emotions, fears, and insecurities. For many men, vulnerability can be one of the hardest things to embrace. Society often teaches that vulnerability is a weakness, something to be hidden or avoided. But in reality, vulnerability is a strength. It takes courage to share your true feelings, to be open about your uncertainties, and to allow yourself to be seen for who you truly are. When a man is able to express vulnerability in a healthy and constructive way, it creates an environment of trust and emotional intimacy that can deepen any connection. A woman may find a man irresistible not because he's perfect or because he has all the answers, but because he is willing to show his authentic self, his flaws, his insecurities, his fears, without trying to hide or cover them up. Vulnerability creates a safe space for both people to be their true selves, and that's a powerful thing. It's also a huge factor in creating emotional intimacy, which is essential for a deep, lasting relationship. In addition to emotional presence, there's also something incredibly attractive about a man who can manage his own emotions in a healthy way. Emotional intelligence is a key component of emotional presence. It's one thing to feel emotions, but it's another thing entirely to be able to process and regulate them. A man who is emotionally intelligent knows how to handle his own stress, frustration, and anger in ways that don't harm himself or others. He doesn't bottle up his emotions, but he also doesn't lash out at others when he's upset. Instead, he takes responsibility for his feelings, seeks to understand them, and works through them in a constructive way.